Good morning. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good morning. What's up, Deadwalk? What's up, Ash? Ash, thank you so much for your 36-month resub. Let me just scroll up here. Hello, Aaron. How are you? Hi, Joshua. Happy Sunday. Hi, Landon. Hi, Ghost Rider. Hi, Aaron. Oh, your Twitch app was being odd? Yeah, sometimes the Twitch app is crazy. Thank you, Ash, so very much for re-sacrificing your soul. I greatly appreciate it. Mwah, thank you. SSJ, good morning. Dawn, good morning. Deadwalk. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hi, Boneyard. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My YouTube wasn't working at first. YouTube was giving me a little bit of an issue this morning. So I was like, shit. But yes, we're fine now. Everything looks like it's up and running properly. Oh my God. How is everybody doing today though? My Halloween was great. We handed out candy. We didn't have a lot of kids. This time around. We had a little bit, honestly. Supposedly, Landon, leaderboard reset. No, I didn't even have a chance to do that. Sorry. I'll do it right now. Purge currency. Okay, it should be good. No, I completely forgot. I didn't have time. I was having issues. 7. I know, I heard they won, hey? I'm not a big baseball fan. It would have been nice to see the Blue Jays get it, but it is what it is. Did lots of cleaning last night. Remember, it's guinea pig father. Oh, yes. I had nothing but issues this morning. I'm not gonna lie. My OBS was giving me a problem. It's been a rough morning. Loki did not go with the time change, so he was up super early. I was up off and on throughout the night because then he was crying. We're having issues with the stream. The hell you say exactly. Oh, hello, Trini. Did you have a great Halloween? Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much, Kirby. I appreciate that. I hope everyone had an amazing Halloween. I want to see if evil works on Rumble. Nope, it does not. Okay, so that will not work, unfortunately. I did try to get evil to work on Rumble, but it doesn't seem like the bot has the ability to do so. I will look into it further, but yes, your evils will work on YouTube and on Twitch. This is where we are live. You're just watching ReAnimateHer last night. Nice. I love the movie ReAnimateHer, hence how I got my name, ReAnimateHer. Yes, Lim Leaderboard has been purged and updated. Basement Cat, how are you? Good morning. Not bad. Heavy hasn't been home. He's off hunting. So he's been gone since Saturday morning. And it's just been Loki and I. But we're doing good. I see you too. I do see you too. Being originally from SoCal, gotta support the Dodgers. Yes, Mr. 7 of 7. I'm not even sure where that came from, that IC. Oh, I don't even know where that ICU came from. I honestly have no idea. Unless it was Peach Kitty. Thank you, Peach Kitty, for the follow. Thank you. Welcome in. Yeah, my weekend has been good. I'll be back. Like 4 police trucks just pulled up. Oh my goodness, Aaron. I hope everything is okay. Basement Cat, nice horniness there. So limbs have been reset, guys. Just so you know, for the month. It is a brand new month, which is exciting, but also sad because we're getting closer to the end of the year. And I swear, like, where the frig did this time go? Like, where did it go to? I don't know. I don't know where it went off to, man. Nice, Deadwalk. Deadwalk is already off to a nice 5,000 point lead. 4,025 higher than Dawn. What? What's up, Basement? What's up? How are you doing, 7? How is everything going? I just started creating different channels. on Rumble to try to figure out different things. So I made one for Coffee Chat of Horrors, and then I made another one for clips so they can be followed over there. I want to see if these commands work. I did create some. Oh, bitch, it does. Deadwalk, we have all of the commands that we need over on Rumble as well. Just an FYI. I forgot to post that in the Discord. I've been working on that as well. And new emotes too. New emotes just for Rumble. But yeah, we have a bunch of different things now. Yeah, when do you want Basement? It's just been crazy. It's just been crazy. I'm dealing with things with my eldest spawn, with her ex. It's just been crazy. It's been a crazy month. I'm hoping November though is gonna be less crazy and more just chillaxing time. Yeah, look at Mr. Me and Mr. Loki. Loki is sleeping in my bedroom in the croissant while he's right there, as you can tell. I'm having a creme brulee coffee, by the way. It's black. I really don't have anything in my coffees. I don't even put sugar in my coffee because I like the flavor of my coffee. We watched Dario Argento's Tenebrae in the Discord last night. Well, actually early afternoon. One of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. My dog Shay is carrying me when I sit on the kitchen table. Whenever Basement, we'll make a day. We'll make a plan for a day. Sure. I'll see what's going on in the weekend. I know Heavy has plans of going hunting and going camping this winter. This is what one of the biggest things were, because he fixed the van's heater. It's a diesel heater. So he's testing it out this weekend with the guys while they go hunting. They're going for whitetail deer. He'll be home sometime Monday. But if all goes well, he's probably going to go more often. Well, we're probably going to go off, me and Loki as well, but not hunting, just camping. I don't hunt. How you doing, Ghost Rider? Tenebrae is a really good move. No, there's a stream on Monday. Yeah, no, I'm not canceling my streams. He's just back on Monday. Next week on our gaming channel, like on our gaming streams, we're going to be bringing in Cold War Zombies. We're going to be bringing in GTA 5. We're going to bring in a story mode game called Little Hope by Dark Picture Anthologies. I've never played it, but we're going to bring that one in. And we're also going to see some more Dead by Daylight. But I love John Saxon's death scene in Tenebrae. I know, right? He's such a great actor. And John Saxon, if you don't know his name, he played Nancy's father in Nightmare on Elm Street. If you don't know who he is, he's in the movie Tenebrae. And we're going to get into a little bit of Dario Argento and why he likes to choose usually Americans or English-speaking actors to be his main leads in his films, which should be pretty interesting to see. Pretty interesting, I think. But yeah. Oh, I thought you were off. No, not off. I stream at 1 p.m. on Monday. So all week, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm not live on Twitch. I am live on YouTube and Rumble. We're gonna try the other platform again as well, see if I can keep connected to it. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm on different platforms for live streaming. Yeah. Where Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, I'm here on Twitch. John Saxon was like the it actor for horror movies back in the day too. Yeah, he was, Deadwalk. You're not wrong. Hi, Darkbreaker. Nice evil, Joshua. 33%. It's a little low. But I think that's because you're too friggin' nice and you go around saying nice things to people. Trini, nice evil, 561. The max evil is 666 in the stream, in the chat. Hi, Miss Fu. Miss Fu is here, if you can tell her ears. I just set up her new window lounger Hello, Unsigned. How are you? I swear, every movie I say from the late 70s to the early 80s, he was in it. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you're not wrong, Deadwalk. And it's funny how the different eras have different big stars, but as you get later on in the years, like in the 90s and the 2000s, he wasn't actually there. When did he pass away? I should have looked that up. I don't know when he passed away. I'm pretty sure he passed away not that long ago, John. Don't drink my coffee, Fusa. Okay, so he did. He passed away in 2020. Nothing major, just some dudes just robbed GameStop. They wanted to know if anyone was trying to sell me game consoles. Oh, well, that sucks. I have a film already on USB. Gonna keep with the CCOH theme with Dario Argento's Deep Red. Deep Red is a great film, and a little fun fact for you. Argento opened up a little store in Italy that is called Deep Red, but it's in Italian. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. Hey, did you ever watch the Dr. Mad Blood horror show back in the 80s? No one signed? I don't think I did. But yes, today in the Discord, if anybody is interested in movies, Darkbreaker will be playing some Dario Argento at around 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, if anybody is interested in hanging out and watching. It is a great film. Dario Argento has amazing films. He really knows how to blend violence and beauty. It's really poetic, I think, the way he, especially in Tenebrae, the one scene where the chick's arm gets hacked off with an axe and the spray of blood, it's very artistic like. Saxon did one of Argento's greatest episodes in Master of Horror series. So cool. We love your guts as well. It is a great film. Please don't step on things, Foo. Thank you. Okay, well, on that note, I say we dive right into Coffee Chat of Horrors. We're going to have our disclaimer, guys. Just a heads up because, disclaimers because we talk about horror. Oh, yeah, there we go. Hello. Yes, baby kitty Fusa.
Like scary movies and coffee.
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. Horde Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes. Good morning, my daywalkers. I am ReAnimateHer, your queen of horror, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the only show that takes its coffee like it's magic, and that is black. Today, I am sipping on Zavita coffee in flavor creme brulee. Today's screams come from the blood-soaked artistry of one of Italy's most visionary and haunting filmmakers, Dario Argento. So buckle up, ghouls, as we step into a world where beauty meets brutality and terror is painted in shades of crimson and shadow. And yes, Deadwalk, I'd have to agree with you. Even the killer's flashbacks had a dreamlike quality to them because that is Dario Argento's touch on film. It's how he likes to do things. Dario Argento was born September 17th, 1940 in Rome, Italy. He earned some fitting nicknames over the years: the Master of Horror, the Visconti of Violence, and the Italian Hitchcock. Which I love the Italian Hitchcock part because he does. Some of his filming and his cinematic quality does remind you a little bit of Hitchcock. Hello, Vengeance. How are you? How is your day going? How is your Halloween? Hello, Slipknot fan. How are you? So Argento is an Italian film director, screenwriter, and producer whose work in the horror and Giallo genres during the 1970s and the 1980s reshaped the landscape of cinematic terror. He's also been called the master of thrill, and honestly, I think that might be an understatement. His movies are great, and one of my favorites is Tenebrae. You're not too bad. It's been a chill morning. Awesome, Vengeance. Awesome. How are you doing, Slipknot? Argento was born into a creative family. His father was Salvatore Argento, was a film producer, and his mother was a photographer. So, I mean, right there, I think he was just born into it, naturally a filmmaker. But before becoming a filmmaker, Dario started as a movie critic for the Rome daily newspaper Paese Sera, which... that as a film critic, you start out at the bottom, right? And you work your way up. And he's a well-known Italian director. He's very well-known everywhere. You're doing okay? Oh, that is good to hear. Good to hear. By the age of 20, he was already a professional screenwriter. And in 1967, he collaborated with Bernardo Bertolucci to write the screenplay for Sergio Leone's epic Western, Once Upon a Time in the West, which is a really big Western movie. I gather I've not seen it, but I've heard it's like the best Western that's out there. And that is definitely before Argento terrified us with Suspiria. Suspiria is another hauntingly beautiful movie by Dario. It was remade a couple of years back. The remake is okay. I don't think the remake is as good as the original. Maybe I'm biased, but I don't think it has touched anywhere close to the original. You need to see all these films. I will give you an entire list of films by Dario Argento that you can watch. And yeah, that explains his artistic sensibilities, right, Deadwalk? It's hard for remakes to hit the same mark. It really is. It really is hard for remakes to hit that. Not many do, right? And we see that. After penning several more screenplays, Argento was signed by Gerardo Lombardo, head of the Italian film company Titanus or Tetanitis. I'm not even sure how it's spelled. Titanus, which in Italian also means tendinitis, which is also a disease. So I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but that is the company that he was signed with. And then in the 1970s, Argento made his directorial debut with The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which immediately established him as a bold new voice in the Giallo genre. Now, let's talk Giallo. The word literally means yellow, and it comes from the yellow covers of Italy's pulp mystery and horror paperbacks, much like our Penny Dreadfuls, if you guys remember Penny Dreadfuls. Argento elevated Giallo into a stunning mix of murder mystery, surreal horror, and visual poetry, which every time I see his movies, they're just so beautifully done, from the music to the cinematography to the suspense to the color usage of red. If you've watched any of Dario Argento's films, the usage of red is quite bold in many of his movies. And like I said, one of my favorite films and considered one of the bloodiest films is Tenebrae, which I think is the use of the color white and the color red throughout the film has it meshed well together in the cinematography. Yeah, I noticed a lot of red. Yes, a lot of red, right? The shoes were red. Lipstick was red on the majority of women, right? The shoes. Hello, Carlos. How are you? Now, he directed a total of 15 films, and here's a list of some of the films, including The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I would suggest watching this one. The Cat o' Nine Tails, another really good Dario film. Four Flies on Gray Velvet. Deep Red, which is called Profondo Rosso in Italian. Suspiria. Inferno, great movie. Tenebrae, my personal favorite. Phenomena. Opera, Two Evil Eyes, Trauma. Now, Trauma is his only film that he actually filmed in the United States with the majority of English American actors and actresses. Every other film that he has filmed has always been in Italy. The Stendhal Syndrome and Phantom of the Opera, as well as Sleepless, which is called Non Ho Sono. Sleepless is a pretty decent film as well for those of you who haven't checked that out. I love the rose-tinted colors of Inferno. I think it's one of the most beautiful movies of his career. Inferno is a beautiful movie, and he does stay with all of his movies. You'll notice the color red, crimson. He was very well known for using the red color, whether it is in a rose color, a lighter color of red, or deep red itself, which is a staple in a lot of his movies. But yes, I would agree with you, Boneyard. Inferno is one of his most beautiful made movies. I would highly recommend Inferno. If you've never seen one of Argento's films, do see this one because it is beautiful. He does have a newer film. He does have a newer film out. It's on Shudder. It is actually not bad. Dark Glasses is not a bad movie. There's also a documentary on Argento. It's a full-on documentary, which I would highly recommend if you're interested in Dario Argento. I did pull pieces from the documentary into the CCOH because I thought some of it was actually pretty interesting, and I didn't see this on the internet. Like, I didn't see some of the stuff that was talked about in the documentary on what I was finding online, because I go through all like interviews. I don't use IMDb. IMDb is really bad for people putting in information that's not true. So IMDb is not something I would recommend using if you're looking for facts, because anybody can edit and anybody can add. Just an FYI. It's always best to go for interviews, and there's tons depending on the movie, the actor, and the director you're discussing. So his father, Salvatore, produced all of his films up until Deep Red, when his brother Claudio Argento took over production duties. Dario Argento wasn't just a director, he was a cinematic architect. And if you've seen his movies, you'd understand why I called him a cinematic architect. The way he put things together, the way he put scenes together. There's a scene in Tenebrae where the two women, they were a lesbian couple. They are in their house, and there's always gorgeous Italian women in his films and a lot of boobs. Anyways, there's a scene where the two women are in the house. They're having a little bit of a spat, and the one woman is upstairs, and the other woman, which is the friend of Peter Neal, the main character in Tenebrae, they're in the house, and the killer, the POV is from the killer's point of view, and he basically takes an entire aerial view and look of the house from like the top going all the way down to the bottom to where the killer is actually cutting things around the window so he can open up the window and go into the house. Like, that whole scene, it was very the way he did that scene, I thought that was really cool. And it's not often you see that kind of stuff, but in Dario Argento's films you see that architect. And IMDb is also stuff that can be found if you've already seen the extras on a DVD. Yes, 100%. Good Coffee, Finland, Dick Johnson. Oh, damn good coffee. Delicious. I love coffee. Boobs are always great. Yeah. Heavy says it's one thing I'm missing in my horror room is boobs. And I'm like, no, there's already a pair in there. There's mine, but they're not on the fucking wall. Hi, Crow. How are you? I'm doing fabulous. I can't complain. We are chit-chatting about Dario Argento. So if you're just joining us, I am ReAnimateHer, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors. We are deep diving an Italian director by the name of Dario Argento, who is an amazing director. His movies are brilliant. He really does well mixing violence and beauty together. It's just very well done. Oh, but I hope you're doing good, Crow. I saw part of Dark Glasses. It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't. I don't think it was this. I don't want to say it was an amazing film. It was all right. There was nothing new that I seen in it. When you said boobs in the room, thought you meant the cats, right? We got a couple of those. I set up Fusa's window bed She was in it for a little bit. At least Loki didn't bug her too much. And if you're watching me on YouTube or Rumble, make sure to repost and like. Repost and like, share. Back, had to reboot the File Explorer for, oh, that sucks, Darkbreaker. Welcome back. So Dario Argento obsessed over every detail, ensuring the final product always matched his original vision. We do have an ad that's going to start here in, oh wait, nope, it was snooze. Never mind. Oh, you're welcome. He obsessed over his films. So he was in every part of in his movie creation of every part of his film. He obsessed over every detail. And if it wasn't correct and if it wasn't to his vision, it didn't make it in there, or he changed it. Which you can kind of see that in his films. He was one of the first directors to embrace the Steadicam and the loom crane, using them to create the fluid, dreamlike camera movements that became his signature style. Which, if you ever see any of his films, he has this beautiful way of fluid between his film, like in his movies. The dreamlike sequence in Tenebrae, for example, because we just watched that one. Hello, Steele. How are you? How are you doing? Happy Sunday. I think the opening of Dark Glasses was very beautiful and poetic when the eclipse appears. I'm a big fan of his performance of the lead in that movie too. Yeah, it's a good movie. I won't say it's one of his best movies, but it's a good movie, Dark Glasses. And that's where Tenebrae, for example, because we just watched Tenebrae. Hello, Joshua. Tenebrae. A lot of the flashbacks, even the killer, a lot of it was dreamlike. And that became his signature style. In Tenebrae, there were flashbacks when the killer was visualizing him being turned down by a beautiful girl in red shoes and a white dress, right? That was very dreamlike, very soft. And even though it was violent, it was soft. Titan? Is Latin. Well, it's an Italian film director company. I mean, Italian production company that he was signed to. Like I said, I couldn't figure out how to say it. Well, I'm better now. Been in the hospital since Tuesday night. Got out late day on my birthday. Oh no, I'm sorry, Steele. I'm glad you're feeling better. Here's some juju for you. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Yeah, thank you for the juju. That's something I have to set up, Deadwalk. I didn't do that yet. Hello, Reaper1923. Reaper1923 is my cohort in Coffee Chat of Horrors. He creates the visuals that you see on the side here. We'll have it though. I'll add it today. I couldn't remember what other commands I may have needed. So we'll have it added. We'll definitely have it added. Now, Dario Argento was very hands-on with his movies. He even composed the music for Suspiria, showing just how involved he was in every creative layer of his films. The soundtracks in all of his movies are pretty crazy. I love the soundtrack to Tenebrae. Hello, Arthur. Good evening. You've been lurking. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're lurking. Thank you so very much. Heart attack sucks. Had 4 stints put in. Oh my goodness, Steele. Heart attacks do suck. I'm so sorry. That is very fucking tough, like Deadwalk said. I do hope you're feeling better. But, yeah. Oh, I know, Fusa. I know. I just don't want you stepping on anything. Yes, his music. That's what I was on. His music in his movies are great. We definitely had a good time yesterday listening to Dario Argento's Tenebrae soundtrack throughout the movie. It was pretty interesting. And it kind of, like Deadwalk was saying in the Discord, that it kind of reminded them of the music in Alien Isolation when I would come up against the xenomorph, and I'm just like, oh my god, yeah, you're right. It was very similar, like electronic-esque type of music. And I'm sitting there like, no, you're right. Especially the last bit of Alien Isolation and that music that was going on, kind of was almost hand in hand. I should have looked that up. Okay, so here are some of the hallmarks that make an Argento film, and as you can tell, would be an Argento film. He does frequent close-up of eyes, often belonging to the killer. Oh, we've got an ad. Sorry, guys. We have an ad that's going to start in about 56 seconds. We're going to either, I'm not sure if we're going to snooze it or we're just going to let it be. Okay, we're going to snooze it. So frequent close-up of the killer's eyes, often, which was a lot. You'll see, like, they'll cut to just the eyes, just. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing the stream. I greatly appreciate it when you guys like and share my stream. It helps the channel grow, no matter where you're watching me, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, or Rumble. Sharing and reposting and always helps, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. He also always shows the murderer's hands, and usually they're Dario Argento's own hands, by the way, if you didn't know that. Nith, hello. So anytime you see hands in Argento's movies, they're his. The closing credits always begin with the phrase, "You have been watching." It's another one. His main characters are often foreigners, American or English, who witness a violent crime and become entangled in mystery. Obviously, Tenebrae right there. And the reason why I'm bringing up Tenebrae, one, it's my favorite. Two, we just watched it last night in the Discord. And you can definitely tell that the main character was English from America, flying to Rome to talk about his book, Tenebrae. I love Argento's use of rock music in Phenomena, and that cool music that the bass player from the Stones composed for the opening, where he killed his other daughter for a change instead of Asia. Yes, because Asia, his daughter, is also in film, which we'll also talk about his wife, and we'll go into a little bit more of that as well. Were there his hands in the opening sequence where the killer was reading Tenebrae? Yes. So all of the hands that you see when the scene focuses on hands, they're usually Dario's own hands. Hence why he's also called the Hitchcock of Italian cinema. Because Hitchcock did a lot of his own stuff too, and Hitchcock was always in his own. Maybe we'll do a deep dive into Hitchcock one of these days. Hitchcock is an interesting character. Definitely interesting character. Don't believe what you've seen in Netflix's Monster Ed Gein about Alfred Hitchcock. There's a lot of shady shit in there that's not real. Now, okay, his protagonists usually have an artistic profession. They're either going to be writers, musicians, actors. They're never just your run-of-the-mill person at all. They're usually have some type of culture to them. They're usually artistic in some sort. As you can tell in all of his movies, have an artistic style to them. Suspiria, dance, right? Tenebrae, writing, authors and books. He definitely uses the Steadicam and bold expressive colors. Bold expressive colors, he loves the color red. And in a lot of his films, there's going to be red. There's going to be like a rose color. He always has these movies. And Tenebrae, honestly, the red sticks out like crazy. You got red shoes. All the women are wearing red lipstick. And he used a lot of white in Tenebrae as well. All of the women wore white. To a certain extent, except for the young girl in Tenebrae. She was called the Spy by the killer. She wore pink, definitely different colors than the other leading older women in Tenebrae. Dario Argento edited George A. Romero's film Dawn of the Dead. Those scenes with the zombies caressing the mall's glass with their palms are iconic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of scary at the same time, right? And also poetic because these are dead things coming back to life that are probably reminiscent of their time in the mall, as well as there's food in there. Oh wow, Ghost Rider 1036. Animals often play a huge part in his movies too. I love the cop that talks to his parrot in Sleepless. That scene reminds me of shoppers on Black Friday. Desi, thank you so very much for your 7 stream streak. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. You're on 69 streaks. Nice, Don. GG's. Thank you. We do have an ad that is going. Okay, never mind. We don't have an ad anymore. And he also loves sprinkling in odd scientific or medical factoids that make you wonder, wait, is that real? He does it in a lot of his films where he'll bring in some medical talk or just odd science. And a lot of the time it's real facts. Why does he do that? I'm not too sure. But maybe it is to make you scratch your head and say, wait, was that real? And then you go run to Google and you go and Google it. And of course, his films often blend violence and beauty in a way that only Argento can create. I haven't seen movies, any other movies like his work. I mean, there are people who try to duplicate his work, but there is only one Argento. The evidence handling in Tenebrae was triggering. Oh my God. And so was the comedy. There is comedy in Tenebrae. Well, every time I watch Tenebrae, it always makes me giggle at certain scenes and certain things that are said, like the cop. I always drink on duty. So if you've not seen Tenebrae, there's a scene where the character Peter Neal, who's the author of Tenebrae, his assistant, the 2 police detectives are in his a hotel room. And she goes and gets Peter a drink, and the assistant tells Maeve, how are you? And the assistant is like, oh, I would get you a scotch or something harder to drink, but you're on duty. And his reply is, I always drink when I'm on duty. I was rolling. That to me is hilarious, because when you look into like North America, cops and everything, you're on duty, you're not supposed to drink. But here we are in Italy, Rome, and he's like, I always drink on duty. I'll have a scotch. Maybe that explains why the cop took so long to solve anything. He drinks on duty. You're not wrong, Deadwalk. And it was funny. The detective also admits that he's a fan of Peter Neal's, and that every book that he has read, he has never figured out the killer. And I'm just like, maybe that's why you're a bad detective. But there's a little bit of comedy sprinkled throughout in Tenebrae. Hello, Extreme Wolf. How are you? Happy Sunday. If you are just joining us, we are discussing Dario Argento, Italian's Hitchcock, Italy's Hitchcock. It is a coffee chat of horrors deep dive into a very amazing director. And that is what we're discussing right now. Outside of directing, Argento opened up a store and a museum in Rome called Profondo Rosso, which is also named after his famous film, Deep Red. Now, this store is very similar to Forbidden Planet in London. It's filled with horror, sci-fi, and fantasy memorabilia. And in the basement, you'll even find special effects pieces from his own films. Now, this is a place I would love to visit if I ever do go there. If I ever do get the chance to go to Rome, that is a place that I would love to visit. And if I ever do go to London, I would love to see Forbidden Planet as well. I don't know if any of you guys knew these places existed, but they are pretty cool. You can actually take a look online to see what they have. Hello, Zombie Nation. How are you? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're having a good weekend. Hope everyone's having a great weekend and had an awesome Halloween. I did. I had a good day. Nice. How was your Halloween, Zombie? Nice limbs there, SSJ. Nice limbs. I feel like Dr. Evil as I pet Fusa. She's on my lap. And there's a scene in, like, Austin Powers, where there's several scenes where he's petting his cat. Trunk or treat ruined everything. Aw, I'm sorry. We didn't get a lot of kids either. I say we maybe had 20, maybe 30 kids after I was told we would have like 200. I didn't see 200. But okay, here's a funny thing. We're going to squirrel a moment. We were supposed to have a fire Halloween night, but the wind was so bad it wasn't worth having a propane fire pit. So we went into Heavy's van. We opened up the doors in Heavy's van, turned on the heater, turned on the movie Trick or Treat, and we were handing out candy from the van. And it was funny because a lot of the teenagers were like, I'm accepting candy from a stranger in a van. But every parent that came up loved the van. They were like, oh my God, this is so cool. So we stayed warm while watching horror movies, eating pizza, and handing out candy. I do see it. Thank you, Deadwalk. We do have an ad. We have no more snoozes, guys. And that ad is going to start in 36 seconds. Italian waits for Ra, a tourist, to ask the directions to the Colosseum. She asks, where's Profondo Rosso instead? Yeah, because I'd rather see that. Candyman is amazing. I love that. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen Heavy's van, but there are pictures in the Discord of his van. Have you seen the Dracula 3D movie? Yes, I believe so, Kirby. I've got a bunch of trick-or-treaters for the safe treat at the store, then 0 at the house. Oh, that sucks. We are in a generation of scared vaginas that have no idea how fun and scary going door to door was. Halloween back in the day, zombie, when we were kids, it'll never be that way again, ever. Our era, we grew up in the best time. We honestly grew up in the best time that there was, ever. And I feel bad that the younger generations have no idea. It's quite sad. Halloween used to be a really, really big holiday. I remember the streets being filled with kids. I mean, from when I was younger, right? There was always packs of kids, like 20 deep, 20, 30 deep, roaming the streets asking for candy. Now I barely see any of that. I see maybe 2 or 3 kids. Yeah, it's kind of like the holiday has kind of like sizzled out, which is sad. I think with Dracula 3D, Argento was just playing with new special effects. Even the masters have to learn new tricks. Yes, Rutger Hauer I love Rutger Hauer. He was great. He was a great actor. I See You too. I'm not sure what's going on or where that's coming from, the I See You. I don't know if it's like a follow on YouTube or whatnot, but I See You. Thank you very much. English person rolls eyes in anticipation of Ra asking where Big Ben is, as she's asking for Forbidden Planet, right? Yeah, it is squirrel time. Ad's going to end in 36 seconds. I used to go out, get candy, run home, change costumes, and go back out. I remember going trick-or-treating, filling up a pillowcase, going home, dumping it out, going back out. We would go out 3 or 4 times, filling up a pillowcase full of candy. But it's definitely a hell of a lot different nowadays. Well, now where I am, I think a lot of that plays into the climate here. And when I say climate, the weather. In October in Alberta, it's effing cold. It's effing cold. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So I think a lot that dwindles here in Alberta for Halloween, for trick-or-treaters, is the weather. In Nanaimo, it wasn't really bad. It was chilly, but it wasn't bad. So trick-or-treaters would be out quite a bit. But I think here, our lack of trick-or-treaters is weather-bound. It was freezing Halloween night. We didn't get snow, but the wind was atrocious, and the wind didn't die down till about 10 p.m. By that time, everybody was done trick-or-treating. There was nobody in the streets. And like I said, our place, they said that they used to get about 200 kids. We were lucky if we seen 30. I didn't see anything for trunk-or-treating in our area either. But you never know. I don't have little kids anymore, so I'm not on any of the family sites. But yeah, we didn't really get many. I do miss the streets being filled with kids trick-or-treating. A lot of fun. I remember having a neighbor who scared the shit out of the kids. I did watch some videos of people scaring the crap out of kids coming up for candy. I know, Deadwalk takes the wheel and gets back on the road. Yes, okay, welcome back from that ad, guys. So we're going to dive into more of Dario Argento. Back in the 80s, it was chaos. My mother would have buy 5 pounds of candy each year. 100%. I used to buy a whole crap ton. I have a whole crap ton of candy because I thought we might get a whole bunch of kids, but we didn't. I would definitely love to see those 2 places, one in London and one in Rome. Okay, so Dario Argento's favorite director and biggest inspiration is Ingmar Bergman. Argento is also a cat lover. He had a cat who was 20 years old, a black cat, and his name was Liebe. Now, Argento's longtime partner was Daria Nicolodi, who also collaborated with him creatively. Together, they had a daughter, Asia Argento, who will become a filmmaker and an actress herself. He also has another daughter, Fiore Argento, from a previous relationship. And in 1997, he made a run for political office in Rome. Could you imagine campaign posters with Argento's face on it? Now, I know in the pictures you've seen Argento. There's his face, okay? Dario. Yeah, could you imagine what that would be like? His posters, his campaign posters, and how visual that he is as a creative. Throughout his career, Dario Argento influence is worldwide. It's literally worldwide. I don't think there's anybody I ever ran into that has not seen a Dario Argento film. And if they didn't know it was made by Dario Argento, the minute you say the film, they're like, oh yeah, I seen that. Oh, that sucks, Ghost Rider. Well, the States has actors as governors and presidents. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Deadwalk. I don't think we have any of that here. I don't think so. Not in Canada, at least. Not now. Maybe there was. I don't know. Dario Argento was a jury member at the 51st Berlin International Film Festival in 2001 and later served as president of the filmmakers of the present jury at the 69th Locarno International Film Festival in 2016. He also discovered actress Coralina Cataldi Tassani. Her name is so hard to pronounce. He casted her in Demons 2. So there's Demons, which is a really great movie. If you haven't watched Demons, it's a good movie. And then there's Demons 2. But you have your share of boneheads. Yes, we do, Deadwalk. He's gonna slash the crime rate in half with a dripping knife on each poster. That would have been a good campaign. Maybe a black and white campaign poster with obviously red on the knife. That is definitely an Argento signature right there. And it would just like take the same realm as Tenebrae did with all the white and red in the scenes. Fun fact for you. The opening scene in the Stendhal Syndrome was filmed inside the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. And he is the only director that has ever been granted permission to film in there. Nobody else has except for Dario Argento. I thought that was a cool little tidbit when I was going through his films. Like I was going through his film dossier, I guess you would say, and just looking at different little facts about each of the films. And the fact that he was allowed to film inside the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. Nobody else is allowed to do that. Nobody. Except for him. Yeah. The scene in Dracula 3D where Dracula bites Tani's neck is incredible. And that close-up of Dracula's mouth gives the impression that he has bad breath. Oh, could you just imagine being dead and just drinking blood? I mean, you don't brush your teeth. So yeah, it would probably be horrific. I always have a real good time with Demons. The Sect and the Church too. His productions were cool. He had a lot of cool production. He had his whole vision, right? He visioned what he wanted to see on the big screen, and he was very anal about that vision. And if he did not get what he wanted, it was always a redo. That's what makes his movies stand out. And I mean, Italy has produced a ton of amazing directors, filmmakers. As you can tell, the last several that we spoke about was Mario Bava. We spoke about Pierre, which, yeah, are just a few. Lamberto Bava, as you know, is the son of Mario. He actually was an assistant director on Tenebrae. And a lot of the Italian directors or filmmakers all are kind of intermingle with one another. You'll find them working on each other's films, whether as an assistant director. Yes, Pier Paolo Pasolini, another amazing, controversial director, as well as Lucio Fulci, right? So we did a lot of Italian directors this month on Coffee Chat of Horrors, because I feel that these directors bring something internationally, worldwide, and have showcased some of the most amazing movies out there, and controversial movies as well. And you notice most of them were in trouble for blasphemy, except for Dario. Legend has it that Bava directed part of Inferno when Argento was sick. And that wouldn't surprise me, Boneyard. Like I said, that wouldn't surprise me because of how much these guys intermingled with one another. It's just like in North America, where some of the directors, Wes Craven, Spielberg, all of them, I'm not saying Craven and Spielberg work together. I'm just saying in there, we do know there were directors giving a helping hand in different films. Tobe Hooper. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And I think there's a different feel when it comes to Italian film directors compared to American film directors. I think there's a lot of competition, at least going back into the 80s with things compared to the movies in Italy that were coming out in the 80s. They seem to want to like flow better together and working together than in North America. I don't know. That's from all of the, directors I've deep dove, or all the movies I've watched and listened to behind the scenes stuff. And you can hear about drama happen on production sets with different directors. This one was supposed to do this one, but then they got kicked off and it was this one. I don't know. They also have distinct styles too, the Italian directors. Yes, they do. You can definitely tell an Argento film from a Pasolini film. Oh yeah, definitely huge in that aspect. You can tell a Bava from a Fulci. Yeah. Hi, Vella. How are you? I'm writing about that relationship on Poltergeist at the minute for a podcast. Interesting stuff. Yes, it is. I did a deep dive on Poltergeist on Coffee Chat of Horrors several years back. I can't even remember when, but it was several years back. I did a deep dive on Poltergeist. Very interesting background, very interesting chemistry between everybody on that set, from directors to writers, the whole kit and caboodle. It also has, there's a documentary on Poltergeist in the Cursed Set. I believe it was Cursed Set or Cursed Films. You may want to check that one out as well. Okay, so Argento cinema is hypnotic, part nightmare and part fever dream. He paints with blood and color, turning every scene into a surreal experience. His use of music, particularly his collaborations with Goblin, adds to the strange blend of elegance and terror. And if you've ever watched an Argento film and listened to the music, especially where the killer is coming or a scene after, it definitely brings that. Hello, the real Tomby. Hi, good day, good day. Cursed Films is on Shudder, Deadwalk. You're not wrong, and it's definitely worth the watch. They've got quite a few awesome little tidbits of information in there. And if you are just joining us, welcome everybody. I am ReAnimateHer, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors. It's a live horror talk show where we deep dive into horror movies and thrillers, as well as the people who create them and work on them, like directors. Today we are diving into Dario Argento, the Italian Hitchcock. If you haven't seen an Argento film, I'm going to highly recommend Tenebrae, Deep Red are two of my favorites. As well as Trauma is a very interesting movie as well, which is his only American filmed movie. Your favorite horror movie is a D'Argento movie. Yeah, Mr. Rotten Treats, how are you? I love Argento. Just everything about his films. He blends beauty and terror perfectly. Beautifully done. As I said earlier, he is often imitated but never duplicated. His fingerprints, sometimes literally, are all over horror history. He is very in-depth. And yes, a lot of people have tried to copy him. They tried to utilize his cinematography, his use of the whole dreamlike state, but they're never the same. You can always tell. Hello, Custos. How are you? We're almost coming to the end of Coffee Chat of Horrors, Custos. Suspiria, yeah, he has great films. Suspiria is a really good film. And I said earlier, Dario Argento is known to have his protagonists be writers, musicians, dancers, actors, actresses, as you can tell in the majority of his films. Suspiria is one of them. Tenebrae, look at the Arthur, right? The author of Tenebrae. You have Inferno, Feminina. Oh my God, I keep fucking that name up. Which is a good movie. The artistic obsession. So the way he turns violence into visual poetry and how he bridges beauty and fear together, which you can see in every single one of his films, especially the Giallo genre of his films. Hello, Wickedy. How are you? How are you doing today? He took Giallo from cheap paperbacks to a haunting cinema and inspired generations of filmmakers from Guillermo del Toro to Nicholas Winding Refn, which beautifully done. And he has inspired a lot of this generation's directors and filmmakers, which I'm really excited to see Del Toro's Frankenstein. I know that's coming out. The balance is not easy to achieve. No, the balance of terror and beauty are definitely not easy to intermingle together. But he does it so very well. He does it very, very well in a lot of his movies. Shucks, I had to meditate. The whole epilepsy thing isn't going well at all. I'm so sorry, Custos. Let's give you some juju to help. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I'm underneath an oak tree that is giving me shade because it's 94 degrees in California and I was on my walk and I can't take the heat. 94 is quite hot. It's cold here. Yeah, Del Toro's Frankenstein should be interesting. It should be, as well as Gyllenhaal's The Bride. The Bride is coming as well. So we're going to be getting The Bride and Del Toro's Frankenstein. So I'm very excited. And I'm excited to see the monster in The Bride as Christian Bale. Like, that's super exciting. Hello, Zach. Thank you for the juju. For Custos. Since the command isn't here yet, I know. I'm going to work on it. I knew there was commands I was forgetting. All right. So that kind of wraps up my Coffee Chat of Horrors today for Dario Argento. We're going to do our little outro for YouTube, and then we're going to go into our just chatting and hangout session. And that, my creepies, wraps up today's episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors, a deep dive on Dario Argento. If you enjoyed exploring the blood-soaked elegance of Dario Argento, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your fellow horror fans, and tell me your favorite Argento films in the comments. Next time, we're heading across the ocean to dive into another master of nightmares, Wes Craven, the man who made us afraid to sleep. Until then, stay spooky, stay caffeinated, and remember, something wicked this way streams. You love The Bride with Jennifer Beal and Sting, totally underrated movie. Yes, there's actually a movie called The Bride that's coming out. Wes Craven is great. Hello, Shore Tracks. How are you? Shorian Tracks. How do I say your name? How do I pronounce your name? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But yes, Wes Craven has done a lot of amazing films, and there's a lot of films that people don't know that Craven did. And I want to touch base on who Wes Craven was. Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and that was on Halloween. And that's what made me decide to do a Wes Craven deep dive, was because of Robert Englund getting his star. Because a lot of people know Craven for Nightmare on Elm Street. He's like most famous for that film. I think it has to be Deep Red, but Suspiria is just a hair behind. Deep Red's a great movie, Custos, and so is Suspiria. I don't think Argento has a horrible movie. I think all of his movies bring something beautiful to the screen, even though it's bloody and violent. Like I said earlier in CCOH, he can really blend beauty and terror in a way that nobody else does. Craven is a real hero of mine. I love Chiller. I think it's his most underrated movie. So chilling. Yeah. And it is about time. You're not wrong, Deadwalk, and you're not wrong about Darkbreaker, about time for Robert Englund to get a star. What took so friggin' long for that man to get a star? You know? Real cool news for you, everyone in chat. They made Exorcist 73 and Creepshow 82 free on YouTube. Oh, nice. People Under the Stairs. Yes, I did a deep dive on People Under the Stairs and how it was a societal commentary. It's a good fucking movie. Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs. I did an entire deep dive on that, from the political aspect of it to the makeup behind it. It is on YouTube. For if anybody does want to dive into that or check it out, you can definitely do that. Yeah, I think it was a really good time. Yeah, me and the missus are wanting to watch that, Deadwalk. Ooh, right on. Yeah, so do I. Del Toro, Serpent and the Rainbow. Oh, my Lord. Serpent and the Rainbow is a beautiful friggin' film. And the information behind that film is even better. I did a coffee chat of horrors on Serpent and the Rainbow as well. Such a good friggin' movie. There's a lot of movies that Wes Craven has done that aren't as well known. And I really want to touch base on a lot of those as well when I speak about Wes Craven. Yeah, it was definitely a good one. I have waited a good portion of my life to try out the Famicom disk system. It is just the 8-bit Nintendo with loading times, no difference. Oh, really, Aaron? Carnival of Souls, Summer of Fear with Linda Blair. Yeah. It's a great film, and it's thanks to you that I watched that film. Oh, you're welcome. But isn't it cool to watch that film and also know what went on behind the scenes and what kind of bullshit was actually going on during the filming of that movie, and how Bill Pullman feels that he had a voodoo connection that I thought it was really great. Knowing the stuff behind the scenes when you watch this movie. That's why I say it's always, if you watch a film that I talk about, let me know, and let me know what your thoughts are. Because once you know about a film, how it was made, behind the scenes, political stuff behind the scenes for that movie, how it was made, the experiences actors had, and then you watch that movie, it just hits differently. It really hits differently when you watch it, right? Because then you're like, oh shit, that scene right there, I know that scene was a real uprising. In Serpent and the Rainbow, there was a real uprising amongst its people because one half was given X amount of money and the other half was given X amount of money, and well, they were talking, and shit hit the fan, and all of those people running, there was thousands, more than what they were supposed to be, running after the vehicle. And that was real. That was real. And knowing that while watching the movie, it just seems to hit differently watching it. It's the same thing with Cannibal Holocaust. Like the deep dive that I did on Cannibal Holocaust, knowing the stuff that I know now watching this movie, it just hits differently. I think at a time when they filmed that movie, I think Linda Blair was the most famous actress in the world because of The Exorcist. I don't know. I know she was in a lot of movies. I don't know if I would say she was the most famous actress in the world at that time, because she did shy away from I think she could have been, but there was a time and point in her life that she had a lot of trauma and PTSD, and that she actually shied away from film altogether. Yeah, there was a lot of things. There was a lot of things that was in Linda Blair's life, which you feel bad for her, but she's a big animal lover and supporter of animals. She's a great human. Like I've sat down with her several different times throughout my life in horror cons, whether I was working the con or being a patron of a con. She's an amazing person. I got to sit down with her and chat with her outside of the con. When I was there for Calgary Horror Con. Linda used to date Uncle Rick James at one point. Yes. Yeah, Rick James. If you don't know who Rick James is, please look him up. But yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Nah, that's enough to mess anyone up, right? Right? Old puked on Ricky as a kid. You puked on Ricky as a... Really? That's interesting. Rick James, bitch. Exactly. I can never get Dave Chappelle out of my head playing Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch. Yeah. Or Dave Chappelle doing Prince. I think he did some hilarious shit as pretending to be Prince on his show as well. Hello, it's Sagara. How are you? Oh my God, the Prince one was hilarious, right? Oh, especially when, what's his name? Eddie Murphy's brother. Eddie Murphy's brother is on set and they do the whole Prince thing where Prince beats Eddie Murphy's brother and his friends in basketball. And the way he talks about it is friggin' hilarious. They were in their blouses. Chuck Murphy. It's Sargara. Thank you. Yeah, when they're playing Shoot It, Jay, Shoot It. Yeah, they're talking about, so Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy is discussing his basketball off with Prince and the crew, Prince's band, and Charlie Murphy and his friends, and how, you know, Charlie Murphy and his friends are all in like shorts and stuff, and Prince are all in their blouses and shit, and they beat them. What's going on, Speedy? How are you? Happy Sunday. Black Jesus was the best show. What was great is when Prince put a picture of Dave Chappelle's dressed as him on one of his yes, that is hilarious. It's definitely funny. I don't remember that. I'm not even sure if I've seen that bit. Oh my God, Nith, definitely check out Dave Chappelle's show. I own it and I watch it quite often because he's a funny mofo. He is a funny mofo. Completely forgot. All good. We're coming to the end of CCOH, but it's all good. If you did miss any part of Coffee Chat of Horrors, it'll be up on VOD on Rumble and on YouTube, with YouTube having chapters. So if you want to bypass all the just chatting shenanigans, you can, and just get down to the dirty of Dario Argento, you can do so. Tyrone, oh my God, yeah, Tyrone is hilarious. At least I keep my streak. That you did. Yeah, I like Dave Chappelle. I think he's a funny comedian. I think he's hilarious in his show. Like it's sad that his show only has X amount of seasons to it though, because I thought it was good. But he also took a break from Hollywood back in the day. Like, he also took a good break from Hollywood before he started back up doing stand-up comedian work. And then now he has several, like, Netflix series, Netflix shows. And some controversy. But who doesn't in Hollywood? I think Hollywood is filled with controversy. But yeah, his show was good. I used to love watching it when it was on TV. It was Comedy Central, and then here it's called the Comedy Network. He had some funny stuff. You have to be PC in Hollywood. Guess so, but you know, it's there's a lot of grossness in Hollywood as well, as we are finding out. With all these different documentaries from the Nickelodeon kids to what's happening with P. Diddy, Weinstein. Like, there's a lot of grossness in Hollywood. Like, grossness. I have to find Half Baked. Oh, we have Half Baked. I love Brewer. You're in North Cali? Thank God. Nice, Aaron. SoCal is the he said, she said town. Oh, is it? I don't know much about Cali. There's a lot of actors and actresses you don't hear about getting into trouble unless they're just good at hiding it. Very true. Keanu Reeves is one of those amazing actors. His controversy is that he doesn't have any real nasty business buried in his backyard, so they have to cling to his actual material. It's very true. They still haven't learned, yes, 100% Speedy. I don't think they will. You watched Us last night. Great movie. Jordan Peele's Us, yeah? I like, did I see Us? No, which one, what movie did I see? Oh, shit. It wasn't Us. I seen Get Out. There was another Jordan Peele. Yeah, is it Us? Or is it Us from Jordan Peele? Tyrone's crack invention is funny skit. Yeah, that definitely is. Tyrone is a hilarious character. Okay, no, then I don't know which one you're talking about. I thought you were talking about Us by Peele. I haven't seen Us by Jordan Peele. But what is the other movie that I watched that was Peele's movie besides Get Out? That's true. There's a movie called Nope. Nope. Let me see if that's it. Hold on. Yes, okay, yes, with the sky asshole, right? The thing in the sky that sucks people up. Okay, I don't think I've seen Us. Hold on, let me look up Us. No, not the United States. Us movie. No, I have not seen Us. Okay, so it is directed by Jordan Peele. So it is a Jordan Peele movie. I posted a link. Thank you. Coincidentally, you said nope, and ads pop up. Ooh, yes, there's ads, guys. Ad break will end in 49 seconds. Do you remember the Ed Gein? Yes, I do. I really enjoyed Kane Hodder's portrayal of Ed Gein. It's well worth it. I'll have to add that to my list. Us. It's on Prime. Okay, so it's on Prime in the States. I don't know about Prime here. Oh, wow. Your search engine is arrogant enough to think you meant the States. Yeah, I did just type in US. Us without typing in the movie, like Us movie. So it automatically brought me to the United States. Isn't Kane Hodder a bit too big for Ed Gein? He played a good role in Ed Gein, though. Custos. If you haven't seen the Ed Gein movie with Kane Hodder, that was a very in shape young Kane. Yes. Let's see. When did Ed Gein with Kane Hodder come out? 2007. So you'd have to look at 2007 Kane Hodder back then compared to Kane Hodder now. He did a really good job, though, as Ed Gein. I mean, the new Ed Gein series, I'm not a big fan of, honestly. To be fair, searching us 99% of the time, it is the United States. Yes, and that's how I typed it in, is US, and it popped up the United States. Loki is, yeah, he is. He's barking at something. It's windy, and it's blowing shit around, and he's barking at whatever is blowing around. I'm actually going to take him out for a WALK here soon. 2007, so that was around his Victor Crowley days. I friggin' love Hatchet. Love Hatchet. Very underrated, I think, film. And also, Hatchet received a limited theatrical release, which I think hurt the film 100% because it hit the film festival market first before it hit a limited theatrical release. And I think that's why Hatchet isn't as famous or as well known as like Friday the 13th. It's a great friggin' slasher. And if you haven't watched Hatchet or the Hatchet franchise, it's 4 movies in the franchise altogether. You have Hatchet 1, Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3. Victor Crowley is number 4. Yeah, it's on US on Prime. Okay, so it's on, yeah, so Prime US. Yeah, I'll have to. Sissy was definitely a good movie. 100%. Sissy was a crazy movie. I liked it. So did Heavy. Heavy liked it as well. Thanks, Deadwalk. Less than 15? Perfect. Monday, we are looking at, I think Monday we're going to probably, I don't know, I think we're going to play some, I don't know. Yeah, no, you know what? Monday, we're going to start Little Hope. Dark Picture Anthologies, Little Hope on Monday. Rhea, I've never seen Black. Is that a slasher film? Black Phone? I'm going to say Black Phone is more of a paranormal kidnapping movie. It's definitely worth a watch. Ethan Hawke in Black Phone. I haven't seen Black Phone 2, but Black Phone is a good movie. Ethan Hawke. I'd say it's more of a paranormal than anything. I wouldn't say it's a slasher movie. No, I wouldn't consider it a slasher. Well, that's just my opinion, though. You disconnected Netflix? I'm not a big fan of this season's Monster on Netflix. I'm not a fan of it. The Ed Gein story is filled with a lot of bullshit that did not happen. And I know it's a dramatization. However, this one just was filled with more bullshit than I found real facts on Ed Gein. Yeah, Maeve, it's a good movie. No, Deadwalk, I wouldn't call it a slasher. I don't think it's a slasher at all. There is, I can give you a few slashers to watch if you haven't. Black Phone, not Black Bone. Black Phone. Yeah. I'd say that's probably Black Phone would be what is again, I think Black Phone is more of a paranormal film than anything. It's about a serial child killer, but the kids kind of come back as ghosties. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is more of a paranormal. They left out a lot of the zombie. I haven't even finished Ed Gein Monster on Netflix because I got fed up with all the bullshit. The bullshit about Anthony Perkins, the bullshit about Alfred Hitchcock. And if you know anything about Ed Gein and you watch this movie, you watch this TV series, 95% of this dramatization is bullshit. There are facts throughout the movie, but throughout the series, but not enough. That would be the adult version of Black Phone. Exactly. The Black Phone. The grabber is the bad guy in the movie Black Phone, but it's a really good movie. I definitely a good movie. I would highly recommend it being watched. I want to see Black Phone too. Definitely. But I think the grabber in Black Phone, the grabber is a creepy fucking character. Talking about child abductors, you guys know of Albert Fish, right? He is one sadistic mofo. I'm currently watching a documentary dramatization of Albert Fish on Tubi. there's a reason why we don't hear a lot of him. There's a reason why. And I don't understand why we don't talk enough about Albert Fish. He was horrific. I think he's one of the most atrocious fucking serial killers out there. And he primarily went after children, boys and girls, and wrote a letter to the mother of the one girl that he viciously murdered and ate. Oh, so crazy. Man on the Train is a crazy killer as well. Yeah, Tubi is great. After YouTube, it's where I watch most content. Mine as well. You're reading that on Audible right now? Right on, Speedy. Albert Fish, if you don't know who Albert Fish is a serial killer and kidnapper that did horrendous acts to people. It pops up as Alberta Fish. It doesn't even want to go give me Albert Fish. Albert Fish is an American serial killer and child. He's just think of every unknown thing you can think. He is a molester, a cannibal, a killer, and an SAer, which I'm not going to say what that. If you know what SA means, go for it. You know what I mean? He terrorized people in the 1930s, but even earlier than that. And he had several children on top of that. I was actually watching a decent movie on Tubi today called Stranded. Oh, nice, Dead Walk. I love Tubi. I think Tubi has a lot of great information, a lot of great documentaries. And this is a documentary on Albert Fish, which also has some, it's all facts, but also turned into somewhat of a movie. It has, it talks about the letter that he wrote to the girl's mom. Oh my God. Yeah, it does, Sagara. It definitely does. Now, Netflix does have I don't even know if it still has it. I know Netflix had an Albert Fish docudrama. And again, when you watch anything on Netflix, be forewarned that half the shit is not real. But Albert Fish is horrific. And we don't see much about Albert Fish, to be honest with you. You don't see a lot on Albert Fish, where we see a shit ton on Ted Bundy. We see a crap ton on Ed Kemper. We see Jeffrey Dahmer. We see the BTK. I almost said the BTC, which is Regal. But we see a lot on the BTK. The actual BTK's daughter has a special on Netflix as well. I don't know if anybody has watched that yet, but I'm probably going to watch that today. What slasher was Albert Fish used as the base for? I don't think he was used as anything, though, Sagara. House of a Thousand Corpses is a great movie. We don't get a lot of stuff about Albert Fish because of his crimes. His crimes were horrific. Technically, you could say maybe Freddy Krueger, but Freddy Krueger was not inspired by him. Netflix loves their true crime. Parentheses around the true part. True crime stuff kind of pisses you off. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Netflix's stuff because they put a lot of fluff and bullshit in it to make it more appealing to people, so you'd watch it. But yeah, their truth has quotation marks around it unless it's an actual documentary, not a docudrama, not a docu-series. Half the time their docu-series and docudramas are filled with bullshit like Ed Gein. And there are people who are believing the stuff that happened in Ed Gein Monster on Netflix when it is purely fiction. It's fake. It is not real. The shit did not happen. There's especially the stuff with Anthony Perkins and the stuff with Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, there is Albert Fish, and it's probably the same one that's on Tubi. There isn't. I also want to say that the same Albert Fish is on like Apple TV. I don't know why. I don't know why we don't have a lot of stuff on Albert Fish like we do all the other serial killers. I mean, they did call him the Moon Maniac, right? He did kill 10 children. He also tortured. He was a sadomasochist. He tortured and ate children as well. Joey Metheny is another one, not really spoken of either. His 13 victims he turned into hamburger and served out of his food truck. Yeah, there's quite a few, but I wonder why they don't talk about some of them. I want to say I think Albert Fish was because of how horrific his crimes were, his torture on children. I want to say that's probably the reason why we don't have a lot on him, but I think we should, because it just shows that there are other monsters in this world. Didn't the electric chair malfunction because of the needles Albert Fish had inserted in himself? There's some stuff about that as well. Yeah. I mean, there's another killer way worse named the Judge. You know, the Judge. There's a few. There's a few, but I think Albert Fish is the Judge. No. Who is what's the judge's name? Block that. Nicknamed Rodney Alcala. Is that who you're talking about? Rodney, an American serial killer convicted of nastiness and put to death in California from 1977 to 1979. Because I do not see another serial killer that has a nickname of Judge. The only one that pops up is the dating game killer, which is a pretty decent friggin' movie. Pretty decent movie on Rodney Alcala. Oh, Judge Holden. Oh, we're talking about fake shit now? Judge Holden. Judge Holden, Blood Meridian. He is what the Judge is a man of strange appearance. He's enormous frame, but he's not real. He's not real. We're talking about real serial killers, unless Judge Holden is based off of a real serial killer, because he's a book character. From my understanding, there's only a book character named Judge Holden who is in the book called Blood Meridian. And it is about that time. Yeah, we're gonna head right into our ending credits. Thank you guys so much for coming in on your Sunday afternoon with me for Coffee Chat of Horrors. I really do hope you enjoyed Coffee Chat of Horrors deep dive into Dario Argento. Next weekend, we're going to be discussing Wes Craven and his work. We're going to also talk about his earlier work that he's not overly well known for. And we're also going to be bringing in on our gaming streams on Monday, we're going to start with Little Hope. We're also going to see Cold War Zombies as well as GTA 5 in the next upcoming streams, which I'm excited to play. I haven't played any of them. Hello, Cannibal. Yeah, Texas, we were discussing real serial killers like Albert Fish. He's real. He's a horrific man. Thank you guys so very much for spending your most precious and valuable commodity with me, and that is your time. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on your favorite platform, wherever you like to watch me at. We will be there at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and we are going to start off with Little Hope. Thank you very much, Kirby, for being here. Thank you guys for sharing your time with me today. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will slash yous all later. Bye.